Hello everybody, welcome back. Sport Federation TV. I'm sure you don't need another introduction. Of course, you know what we talk about. We talk about sport in the province. All of our various SASCOC codes that are affiliated to the Western Cape, across the districts. Everybody's got a club or a team activity, and of course, very active in the Western Cape. One of the sport codes, folks, if you haven't been aware or not sure, is of course Motorsports South Africa. Now, I myself want to find out a little bit more about Motorsport South Africa. And we haven't had Motorsport on the show for a long time. In studio with me now is the chairperson of Motorsport South Africa and the chairperson of Western Cape Motorsport, Arlene Brown. Arlene, nice to have you in studio with us.
Thanks, JP. Thanks for having us here.
So I believe that this is not your first time here.
No, it's not. I was invited to be on, I think it was Cape Town TV at that stage, a good couple of years ago, but it's been a drought season that we haven't been invited back, but glad to be here.
So I'm always, when I'm thinking about motorsport, I'm always thinking like, what are we talking about? Motorsport. I mean, it's such a big category. It's Formula One and it's go-karting. Tell me all the different codes that you guys have.
Okay, number one, the go-karting people in Cape Town or in the Western Cape.
They weren't like what I just said.
No, they would call it karting, not go-karting. Go-karting was way back when.
But it is your code.
But it is one of our codes.
Right.
Karting is one of our codes.
Yeah.
We've got main circuit racing, which covers both cars and motorcycles.
Hang on. Main circuit racing.
Main circuit.
What is main circuit racing?
At Killarney, we have a number of circuits. So we've got a karting circuit, which is quite a small circuit. It's about 1 kilometer long. And then we have the main circuit, which is 3.3 kilometers long. Okay. And that is for saloon type vehicles or single seaters, motorcycles. And we have racing there roughly once every 6 weeks or so.
So motorcycles, motorbiking is also part of motorsport?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we've got a few classes there as well. We've got up to the super bikes, the big fast ones that you all know on the roads and that sort of thing. But we do start them off very small. And I think our youngest motorcycle competitor is in the region, I think, of 5 years old. Yeah. And they start on little Pee-wee 50s or whatever it is. So, yes, at Killarney itself, we have karting, we have main circuit cars and motorcycles. And then we've got what we call short circuit, where they use part of the Killarney main circuit. And there they also do a lot of motorcycle racing.
So you mean to tell me that I used to be a Pee-wee because I used to race 50 cc's around Killarney when I was a child. So was I a Pee-wee?
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay.
You were most probably on one of the other name brands.
I must say, at the same time, we were lucky enough when we were on radio days, we used to do the karting around Killarney as well, around the small track there. It's quite scary, even though it's not the speed of a fast car on that, but you sit so close to the ground.
Absolutely.
It's nerve-wracking.
I think in the days that you might have been racing there, the karts and the motorcycles were together on the karting circuit.
Right.
And only over a period of time, karting basically split off from the motorcycles and they needed to do their own thing. But well, yes, that's just two of the facets or three of the facets of motorsport in the Western Cape.
Motorcycling and the car racing. Yeah.
The track stuff. Call it track stuff.
Yeah.
And then over and above that, we've also got the enduro motorcycles. As well as the off-road motorcycles, and off-road also have cater for quads as well.
Quad bikes as well.
And motorcycles. So that's the off-road, and then the enduro is just motorcycles. Then over and above that, you've got oval track racing, as well as we've got rallying. So there's quite a few disciplines within motorsport.
Wow, I mean, this is exactly why we needed to get you in here, is that there's such a variety of so many codes, so many categories. How does the average person that is out there who is getting started in motor racing, maybe like you say, they want to race around a circuit or they want to do karting, do they have to join a club, or are they all registered with you as participants? So
in terms of competition and on the various tracks, we've got all our clubs that are affiliated to Motorsports South Africa. So in the Western Cape, we've got quite a few different clubs, but so they would be affiliated to Motorsports South Africa. And then anybody that wants to compete would need to take out a competition license through Motorsports South Africa. Right. And they would have to be a member of an affiliated club. Right. So it's a whole procedure that we need to follow, but we make sure that everybody is a member of an affiliated club if they take a specific license and above that. We do have a few licenses, well, one license that allows them to, if they have their own, no, I'm correcting myself. for one-day license. They don't always need to be a member of a club.
I see you've got clubs as far as Beaufort West, Oudtshoorn, or it's
Yes.
quite active.
So we do have, most of the clubs in the outlying areas are mainly oval track.
Yeah.
We don't really have anybody else. The enduro guys and the off-road guys, they do hold competitions out in that area. So for example, the enduro club had their very first event this year was out in Riversdale.
Yeah.
So it's quite a way out of Cape Town, but it's mainly Cape Town competitors that travel that way.
Yeah.
And tomorrow there's actually an off-road event happening out in Porterville.
All right.
So, and then over and above that, you do have the oval track, and there's some other guys that are starting up as well, clubs that are starting up.
Yeah.
But obviously the cost involved in creating and building a full-on track is exorbitant.
Yeah.
So obviously
Well,
those...
I was going to ask you, is it oval track, is it tar or gravel?
It could be tar or gravel.
Okay.
So at the moment, all the clubs that are affiliated to Motorsports South Africa from the oval side of things are all dirt tracks.
Okay.
They are all dirt tracks, but it is possible to also run them on tar.
Do we compete? Do we compete against other countries?
In terms of oval track or just generally?
Motorsport, how do we compete? You know, we've got the Olympics on at the moment. We've got athletes there that are competing.
So yes, we do have quite a few of our, when I say our, South African competitors that are competing overseas. We've got the Van der Linde brothers, we've got Jordan Pepper, we've got Brad Binder and Darren Binder. So we've got a few that, or quite a lot actually compared.
The names that come to mind are guys like Genil de Villiers and the Paris Dakar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Paris Dakar, which is now just the Dakar. We've also got Sahud Variawa that's involved there. There's quite a few other South Africans that are involved with the Dakar. So yes, and we were also very fortunate in 2023, last year, where we had the Formula E event in Cape Town, the city of Cape Town. So that was wonderful experience for motorsport fanatics in the mother city as such. And then we also had, in August last year, we had the Motocross of African Nations. So we had quite a few, I think it was 11 nations that came out to South Africa and to Cape Town Zone 7 specifically to compete in the motocross event. And then at the end of the year, we had the World Rallycross event.
How are we doing on the motorcycle side? I remember, I think back to the names of like Lance Isaacs, who was a Superbike world champion. Are we still coming through the ranks like that?
We do have a couple, as I said, we got the two Binder brothers, Brad and Darren, who are both in the MotoGP side of things, one on MotoGP and the one in Moto2. And then we've also got a young competitor from the Eastern Cape, from Port Elizabeth, Rushay Moodley, who's also involved. He was in the Red Bull Rookie Cup for the last 2 years. So that's a young person coming through the ranks. And then there are also a couple of other South Africans that are competing either on the world stage or in America on circuits over there.
So one of the things that our Minister of Sport has said recently is that he's going to make spinning a sport code. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to ask you about, do we have drag racing as a sport in motorsport?
Yes, we do have drag racing. We run drag racing at Kalani as well. And then over and above that, which is not an MSA affiliated event, the City of Cape Town's behind it quite a bit, is the street to strip racing, which they do mainly on a Wednesday evening. So Kalani is multi-purpose, and we do have a drag strip.
That was one of the things that you guys did as almost a social initiative, was for members of the public to have a place to race.
That's correct. It's a safe place, and to try and take the illegal drag racing off the streets.
From a call it a colors point of view, is that something that your athletes aim for? We just mentioned that you've had some success on the international space. Is that something that athletes aim for, or are they just quite happy to compete?
I think in the back of everybody's mind, that is something that they do aim for. Currently in the Western Cape, not all our classes qualify for regional championships. When I say qualify, they've actually elected to just run club championships and that sort of thing. So, but I think every competitor out there, that would be their ultimate goal, would be to get colors. Everybody
wants to fly the flag for South Africa. Everybody wants to be a pro tier.
Absolutely, and everybody wants to be the winner. So obviously, for us, it's important to promote the sport that we're in and promote the sport that we love so much. So it's a difficult one as well, because even though we all fall under Motorsports South Africa, we are still, if I can call it a bit, in silos.
Yes.
So
different codes.
in different codes. So, but it is interesting to see that you do have a lot of the karting competitors.
Yeah.
When they get to a certain level, they do start moving across to circuit racing, either saloon cars or single seaters and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think within the codes themselves and the facets themselves, they promote the advancement of their competitors.
That's fantastic. Arlene, it's been great chatting with you. I have no doubt that we're going to have many different of your codes in studio with us to tell us about all their fun and games and activities. There's so much to chat about. But yeah, looking forward to getting lots of pictures and videos and seeing you again.
That would be great, yes. And I think all the codes and different facets within the Western Cape would love to have that opportunity of promoting themselves on the TV and on the program.
Thanks. There we go, folks. All right. Motorsport South Africa, active in the Western Cape. Just to put a handle on it, folks. All of those structures that you see, it all falls in under motorsport, from karting to motorbikes to cars and even quad biking. And I'm sure that there's many, many more that I haven't even mentioned there. We're looking forward to finding more about motorsport in the weeks and months to come. That is a wrap from us tonight. If you are still watching, we trust that you will enjoy the rest of the Olympics, and we hold thumbs for our South African athletes that are competing there. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.